As you start awakening, you might feel this urge to want to wake up others. Could be your family, could be your friends, could be like anyone that you come in contact with. And this is almost like a rookie mistake that you want to wake up everyone. And it's something that if you look at your life, that it's been happening in different stages. Could be just awakening to corrupt politics and you want to tell everyone that you know. Could be awakening to the corrupt food industry. Could be awakening to the corrupt pharmaceutical industry. There's all of this darkness, you could say, that you want to simply shine a light on. And that's fine. But when it's coming from this place of expectation and the attachment to outcome, you're going to suffer from it. So I said it's kind of a rookie mistake that as we're awakening through these different stages, you could say, on the relative level, it's a process. So as we're going through this awakening process, you'll see that there might just be this instinct to shove knowledge in front of your friends and families. Watch this, read this. This is going to change you. This is going to change your life. And what do you notice in your experience? That they seem to give you this pushback. The more you try and push your stuff onto them and try and change them, the more you're going to experience the resistance. Because it's coming from this place of force, not power. Force is very dualistic. You apply a certain force, and then you're going to receive that same amount of force back. This action and reaction. The harder you try and force something, the more force you're going to feel comes back to you. So you try and push something onto your family and you're going to get that pushback. It's going to feel exactly proportional to the amount that you're trying to push this awakening onto others. That's why it never works. That's why I said it's a rookie mistake. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. See how it gets you. See how much more suffering is created. It's not your job to try and change everyone. But when we are awakening, there could be this feeling of, this is my mission. This is what I'm here for. To change my entire family, change my friends. And you know what? If they're not on board with this awakening, then screw them. They're not my friend anymore. And if my family can't get down with this awakening, then see you later. I'm walking out. See how this attitude gets you in your life, right? See how much suffering that it creates. There's levels to this suffering. And even as you're awakening, there's still suffering. There's just subtle levels of the suffering. And it's hard to see it. It's hard to see it. But if you're noticing that you've recently had this awakening and there seems to be some sort of inner transformation happening within you, and it seems to be continuing, like I say in these videos, it's a process. on the relative level, it's a process. It's not a one and done thing. Well, like I said, just see how this kind of trying to push your perspective on people, see how far that gets you. See what that does to your family dynamics, your friends dynamics. See how well that goes in your office with your colleagues. And that, like I said, it's this rookie mistake of going about it from a place of force, which is very much like we've been learned and conditioned. It's coming from the mind. It's still coming from this separation. Whereas, like I say, is the true change is actually effortless. That there's no you that's creating this change. The change happens. You're a catalyst for change. You're a transformer, but you're not trying to be a transformer. You're not trying to be a catalyst. You're not trying to pry people's eyes open. You're not trying to be some activist. You're not preaching this stuff. It just starts happening as a result of the integration of your realization, the embodiment of the truth. And a lot of times it's like these realizations, these insights that are happening as we awaken. They're not that deep. They're not let's just leave it at that. They're not that deep. I was going to say whole, but like I said, is yes. Let's use it as whole. Let's say whole. They're not that deep, or they're not whole. They're not complete. It's not a complete realization. So therefore, we can only integrate to that level that we have realized. And some have the realization and then there's no integration. But it's that integration, it's that embodiment that then there's a power instead of force. And with this power, there's no opposition to power. Force always has an opposition, but power, there's no opposition. And it's counterintuitive. It's not rational, I should say, to the mind of how it thinks about power. Because it always thinks about power in terms of how to control. It equates power to control. And what I'm speaking about is actually it's giving up control, relinquishing control, being free from control, that then there's actually power. And it's this power to actually transform. But there's no you that's possessing a power as a separate agent to become that catalyst agent for transformation. So it's hard to understand, but it's just simply I'm pointing out. You can even say, forget about what I just said. Just pointing out that when this awakening is, let's say, fresh, there's this, okay, I want to wake up everyone. Who else needs who needs to wake up? And you just want to throw water on everyone and give them a shake. And it's like, it feels like the more you do that, it's like they go into more of a deep sleep. It just feels like that. They're not going to be open to anything that you have to say. They'll just close. More so. Right? So that's why I say it's more of a rookie mistake. But you have to look within to see what is it in you that needs them to wake up? Why do you need them to wake up? Why do you need them to be different than what they actually are right now? Why do you need reality to be different than what it is? Because what is this. And as long as you're trying to make it something that it's not, there's going to be a great deal of effort, striving, control, expectation, outcome, force, and suffering. It's a subtle form of rejection, that you're rejecting things as they are. And it's still this, at this stage, still there's this projection of the shadow. There's projection of something in you that you're not seeing. So then it's projected outward that you're seeing it in others. And it's like when you're rejecting it in others, you're trying to change them. There's not a unconditional acceptance of self. And unless there's an unconditional acceptance of self, there cannot be ease. There cannot be rest. There's always going to be dis-ease, meaning no ease, no rest. You can't simply just be at peace with what is. Because there's this constant belief somewhere in the background that says it should be something different. This should be different. This shouldn't be like this. It should be different. And when that becomes your motivation for all of the activities in your life, that's still seeking. You're seeking for something other than this. So it's just something to look out for. Like I said, I wanted to start doing some more videos on these subtle sufferings, these subtle illusions, subtle ways that we delude ourselves as we're going through that process. And it's just simply sharing the experience. Like I said, try it out for yourself. See, compare how things go when you try and force your perspective onto people. See what happens when you literally want to force someone, come here and look. through my point of view. Because that's kind of saying that their point of view is wrong, that there's something incorrect with their point of view, that their point of view should not be happening. But the reality is their point of view is happening, and your point of view is happening. And that's the beauty of it. Infinite points of view, infinite perspectives of life. That the one gets infinite perspectives of itself. That's the beauty. That's just what is. It's what's happening. But having an idea saying, no, I want you to give up your point of view and come over here and look from my point of view because my point of view is better than yours. This type of nonsense, you're going to create more and more suffering for yourself. And just like I said, just see it. See it in your own experience. See how when you relax and you let things be as they are and you let go of attachment to a certain outcome, see how there's just this more of this relaxing. It feels like life just kind of loosens up a little bit. It doesn't feel so heavy. There's more and more lightness. There's more and more openness. There's more and more expansion. That's why I said it's a process. It's continuing. And it's so subtle where these obstacles lie. It's so subtle where there's still a lack of clarity. It's still subtle where there's still this creation of separation where it doesn't exist. It's still subtle to see the lack of integration. That our true nature is just, it's wide open. It has already accepted what is. Otherwise, it wouldn't be happening. But when there's this so-called separate entity that says this shouldn't be happening, it should be like this, and you can see there's this separation that's created. There's rejection. There's closure. There's resistance. There's all of that, which all creates more and more suffering. Hopefully this helps. I'll see you in the next one.